Welcome to today's video on the Hooded Lid. Today I want to talk about skincare. Somebody asked me about 2 weeks ago if I would do a video on my skincare, and I am so happy to. I love talking about skincare. It really floats my boat. I am 57. I will be 58 in 2 months, and I'm concerned about anti-aging. It's up there. I don't talk about it too much because it doesn't get a lot of views, but I think it's really worth talking about. And I'm going to show you my daytime program. Another video I'll do my nighttime program, and then a third video I'm going to do my extras. So my extras are divided into two things. Extra credit, which is the stuff I keep around for days when I need something different. I need something more, I need something less. I might have microneedled, I might have feel like I got a little sunburn or windburn. I might have been irritated by a foundation that I tried, or a sunscreen that I tried, or I'm doing tools. That is not extra credit. I think the tools that I'm using are actually a major part of my skincare. Now, some of them I've just tried. I've just started working with them, but I have really high hopes that they're going to be an important part of my skincare routine. But that's 2 videos away. Today, I want to do my daytime, my morning program. All right, we have a bird situation. I spoke about this in another video. Little baby bird. It's a fledgling, I think they're called. Fell out of the nest. Mommy's coming down to feed it once in a while, but it can't quite fly yet. So it's just chirping his little head off, calling for mommy. He's been here for 2 days. I'm hopeful he'll be flying soon. I did look it up, and it said if it's a fledgling, they have all their feathers, they're close to flying, and to let them be. They don't need your help. Don't try to find the nest. They'll be flying in a few days. So fingers crossed, although I am growing attached to him. But that's the sound that we're hearing in the background. Let's get into morning skincare. I'm beginning to know what his calls are. His or hers. So first thing I do in the morning is wash my face. I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people wake up and they rinse their face, but the truth is at nighttime I'm putting a lot of products on, and I want to get them off. So the products I put on in the morning have the opportunity to really be absorbed. I'm using the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. It's fine. It doesn't irritate me at all. I have to say though, once in a while, if my skin is feeling a little sensitive, sometimes it stings. I think they may have changed it, but there's nothing else that I've found that I want to try. I know several people have said the Neutrogena cleanser is the bomb, but from the same line, the Hydro Boost line, there's sunscreen, burnt my skin. There was so much alcohol in it, so I kind of don't want to risk it. So right now, and for many years, that's what I've been using. If you have some ideas on something really gentle, not stripping, I just want to take off the retinol I put on the night before, and I put on oil the night before, I want that to come off. Let me know down below. But that is my cleanser. Now, under the extra column, I'm going to bring one in. 1 to 3 times a week, I will do an acid. My 2 forms of exfoliation are my muslin cloth and my acid. And recently I started using the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Peel pads much more frequently than I have in the past. I've been doing them 1 to 3 times a week, and I'm really liking the results. Let me tell you a little bit about it. I have to put the glasses on to read, so I can tell you what the ingredients are. So, Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Peel 1 to 3 times a week. Glycolic acid, salicylic acid, mandelic acid, lactic acid, and citric acid, and malic and willow bark extract. Those are in the A's. So there's an A pad and a B pad. And all of those are AAHs with the exception of willow bark and salicylic. Lactic acid, I've spoken about it before, can be very hydrating, and I find it to be lightening. The molecules are larger than glycolic, so people who are sensitive to acids can take lactic. Generally speaking, better than glycolic. For some reason, I take glycolic better than lactic, but that's just me. This second pad is water, resveratrol. It's hard for me to say sometimes. That's an antioxidant. Retinol, ascorbic acid, ubiquinone, ascorbopalmitate, retinol palmitate, tocopherol acetate, camellia leaf extract, which is green tea. It's an antioxidant, lecithin. These are really great things, and I'm really thrilled to have this in my skincare. Now, after I use this, I will oftentimes wait for an hour or two before I go on, because my pH is really thrown out of whack from using, boy, these birds are nuts, from using an acid. And the thing I want to go on next with is my vitamin C, which is an acid. I have to go have a talk with the birds. I'll be right back. So they tend to talk a lot until I go outside, and then they're like, zoop. So hopefully they'll, not really quite, okay. We will forge ahead. So before I put on my vitamin C, I want my pH to mellow out a little bit, because vitamin C requires a certain pH in order to be effective. And now some people say you really have to wait like 3 hours, 4 hours for your pH to rebalance. Maybe yes, maybe no. I am happy to wait an hour or two because I have the time to do that. If you don't, maybe you don't want to do vitamin C the same time you're doing an acid, and put your acid somewhere else. So for me, if I'm using an acid, I'll wait a few hours. Now when I come back, my skin's pretty dry, and I will do a spritz of rose water and glycerin. You can get it anywhere. You can get it. I got mine at Whole Foods. You can get it at Amazon. I'll link it below, and I love it. Spray my face, pat, 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 pat. Go on with my vitamin C. My vitamin C is MUFE. This is a 15% ascorbic acid, L-ascorbic acid, and it also has ferulic acid and vitamin E. So these three ingredients complement, stabilize, and help the efficacy of each other. I believe this is pretty much a copy for SkinCeuticals C, which is $165, and the MUFE is under $30. I'd rather save my money and put it somewhere else on my face, like in the third video we're going to be doing. Now, really briefly, I want to talk about, boy, I'm so sorry about this bird, man. Very quickly, I want to talk about why vitamin C or antioxidants are so important for your skin. They help to neutralize free radicals, and free radicals cause DNA damage. Now, I'm trying to remember, I may say this wrong, but the idea is molecules. Molecules are made of atoms. The atoms have electrons that are paired together. When a molecule splits up, you have these atoms who are not paired anymore, so they go around and attack other atoms, other molecules, looking to pair up again. That's oxidization. That's free radicals. That's what they are. And what are they caused by? They're caused by aggressors. They're caused by exposure to the sun. They're caused by exposure to light bulbs, to pollution, but they're also caused by stress. And it's not just your face, it's internally. So it's always a good idea to eat antioxidant-rich food for your overall health. But for your face, it's so important to put some antioxidants on day and night. Okay, that's vitamin C and why it's so important. It's not the only thing out there. It's just the most researched and the best. But there are other things. If you have problems with vitamin C, let me know below, and I'd be happy to put together a small little video with some ideas of other things that you can do. After that, I go on with my Essence program. I did a video about 2 weeks ago on a new Essence program. I'm using 4 essences at the same time, just a little bit on each. Because I'm using 4, I don't have to do a lot, just enough to get all over my face and maybe the teeniest bit on my neck. And I've really seen a big change in my skin since I've started using these 4 together, so I'm going to continue doing that, and that's what I do after my C. I give my C like a minute to absorb. It absorbs very quickly, so I'm not really worried about it being diluted. All right, so now I've done my C and my essences, and I'm going to do my final step in this hydration period with Hada Labo hyaluronic acid lotion. It's not a lotion. It's an essence in its weight, and it is chock full of different weights of hyaluronic acid. It is water, glycerin, which is a fantastic ingredient, sodium hyaluronate, hydrogenized hyaluronic acid, sodium acylated hyaluronate. I might not be pronouncing that correctly. I'm going to have so much fun editing this, I can tell. Now, I am a firm believer. Hyaluronic acid, as you know, carries 10 times its weight in water. It has the ability to do that. So I first put on all these hydrating essences with all these goodies. Then I put on the hyaluronic acid, and now I want to kind of lock that in. So now I want to sandwich my hyaluronic acid and all those essences into my skin with my first layer of moisturization. My first layer of moisturization I consider to be 80% hydrating and 20% occlusive, not really occlusive, emollient, moisturizing. And my choice is another Hada Labo product, and that is Hada Labo Hydrating Milk. The highlights in that are glycerin, squalene, hydrogenized hyaluronic acid, acetyl hyaluronic acid Na, which they're calling also super hyaluronic acid. So squalene, I've mentioned before, is a skin identical. Your skin recognizes it and knows what to do with it. It produces it. 13% of your skin sebum is comprised of squalene. It's a good thing to put on your skin. The next thing I might want to do, if I feel like I need a little bit more, is from Innisfree. And that is the Blueberry Rebalancing Lotion. Again, lotion in this case actually means lotion. And this one I consider to be 50% moisturizing, 15% hydrating. So it's both. Glycerin, hydration. I'm not going to do the Latin. I'm just going to say blueberry fruit extract, sodium hyaluronate, squalene again, glyceryl stearate, sodium acrylate, sodium citrus. Okay, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say orange peel oil, lavender oil, hyaluronic acid, Centella asiatica extract, Salvia hispanica seed extract, hydrolyzed hyaluronic acid. Again, it has the same kind of ingredients, but there's more emollients to this one, and it's just really delicious and light. Now, up to now, I think any skin type can do what I put forward here. If you're oily, none of these are too heavy, and they're not too occlusive for you to have in your program. I finish it off with Stratia Liquid Gold, which I also think might be okay for oily skin. Something to try, and it's not that expensive. And that's another thing. Everything in my program is really pretty reasonable. The Dr. Dennis Gross is more expensive for sure. And my eye cream, which I'm not putting in here, is also on the expensive side. But everything else is really within reach. I don't feel that you have to spend a lot of money on skincare. Not these days. Not when we can so easily research, learn, and understand what products are good for our skin, what beneficials we need, how to round out a program for ourselves. So for me, the morning is about hydrating, moisturizing, and protecting. That's my vitamin C and my sunscreen. And then in the evening, I do things with more actives. I think it's so important to learn a little bit about skincare ingredients. I know it can seem overwhelming, but once it gets kind of broken down, this is how I think. If you can break something down for me and all the pieces kind of come together, it's like, oh, okay, it's not that complicated. You know, there are skin identicals, there are skin communicators. That kind of stuff really helps me to understand what skincare I need and what the benefits are of putting this together with that. And you can really pull something together that is ideal for you. And of course, how you feel, how your skin feels, and what it looks like is telling you, this is working. So the final thing I do is the Stratia Liquid Gold. Stratia Liquid Gold was designed to mimic your skin's barrier. Your skin's barrier keeps all the good stuff in your skin, like water, hydration, and it keeps all the bad stuff from getting into your skin, like pollution. Your skin barrier health is imperative to good-looking skin. Skin that is not balanced, a barrier that is compromised, can cause acne, it can cause rashes, it can cause any plethora of things, but your skin's just not going to look very good, and it's not going to be able to bounce back strongly after being abused. You know, a sunburn, microneedling, an acid. An acid is an abusive thing. So I really believe in keeping the barrier strong and healthy, and I believe that this helps me do that because it mimics the skin's barrier. It is comprised of ceramides, omega fatty acids, cholesterol, just like your barrier. It's the correct ratio and pH as your barrier, so your skin recognizes it. We've all seen these pictures before of a brick wall, and people have explained this is your skin's barrier, and the mortar is the ceramides. They're lipid fatty acids, and they fill out those bricks. They're acting as mortar, but fill out the cells. And that is holding everything together and keeping everything in and protecting from aggressors. And liquid gold, for me, really does it. Let me tell you a little bit about the ingredients. Water, niacinamide. Niacinamide is vitamin B. Another thing to think about is your ABCs. A is retinol, B is your niacinamide, C is your vitamin C. Everybody should have some of those, depending on their age. If you're in your 20s, you don't need the retinol. But there's niacinamide in here right at the top. There's rosehip oil, which is so good for your skin. There's sea buckthorn oil, and there's sea buckthorn fruit oil. So you can get oil from both parts of the sea buckthorn. And there's panthenol, there is glycerin, squalene again, tocopherol. The tocopherol is vitamin E. There's camellia leaf extract, which is an antioxidant. There's ceramide NP, AP, and EOP, cholesterol, and sodium hyaluronate. And those are the highlights of that one. And after that, I go on with one of my millions. It seems like millions, but it's probably just, less than millions of sunscreen. And then I let it all sink in for a few minutes before I go on with my makeup. One thing about my morning program, I tend to keep it the same every day. So the variations will be my Dr. Dennis Gross. And sometimes in the morning I will use a gua sha for 15 or 20 minutes. I might do that a couple of times a week. But as far as my topicals, I like to keep it the same unless there's an issue, because I don't want to think in the morning. I don't want to cocktail in the morning. There have been mornings when I've been very, very stressed, where I'm looking in the medicine cabinet going, what's my next step? And I got something out of order. That's something you want to avoid. Thinking in the morning can be difficult for many of us. And if we have a set program in the morning, I find for me, I just don't have to think about it. I'm taking time to take care of myself, and it feels very nurturing to do that. But I'm not investigating. I'm not, what if I do this? What if I do that? I'm pretty much doing the same thing every day, unless there's something going on with my skin that needs special attention. And that is my morning program. Now, if you saw my video in November, you may have noticed that I've dropped something out of this, and that is a peptide. I was using a peptide from, I'll write it right here because I'm having a brain fart. And I used that for a couple of years, and I ran out, and they were out of stock, and that lasted for a while. And I thought, you know what, I don't really know if I need this, and I don't see a difference in my skin at all. I used to have very peptide-centric skincare. My moisturizer had peptides in it. I really tried to layer in those peptides. But I remember seeing Dr. Dre, who has a channel here, saying, you know what, until they do biopsies on the skin to really show that collagen is affected by peptides, it's just not enough evidence for her that it really works for collagen. And collagen's what I'm looking for. Now, peptides are hydrating and moisturizing. If you want them for that, great. If you happen to get collagen on top of it, great. But for me, I'm doing other things for collagen right now, and I just don't need the extra serum. And that's one of the bigger changes I've made recently. I'll be talking about the other changes that I've made in the next 2 videos. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them or to put you in the right direction. And that's it. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.